How do you make a woman feel desire for you even when she doesn't seem interested at all? Hi, I'm Lauren, and today we're talking about something most men are never taught clearly. You know that moment when you're talking to a woman who seems amazing, but the interest just doesn't feel mutual? You try being kind, you give attention, you put in effort, but the more effort you show, the more distance you feel. What most men don't realize is this: you may not be doing the wrong things. You may be doing the right things in the wrong order. Attraction does not grow the same way logic works. Today, I'm going to share 7 psychological triggers that can increase attraction in a natural, respectful way. And the final one is especially powerful when used correctly. Before we go further, hear this clearly. This is not about blaming yourself. Nobody really teaches this. School doesn't. Society usually doesn't. Most men are taught to use logic, effort, and words to prove they'd be a good partner. But attraction is often emotional first. While you were trying to explain your value, her deeper brain may have been reacting to completely different signals. Research in evolutionary psychology suggests attraction often responds to fast mental shortcuts, patterns the brain reacts to automatically. Once you understand them, you stop chasing so hard, you stop forcing, and you start becoming the kind of man women naturally feel curious about. Let's start with the first trigger. 1. Masculine presence. This is not about muscles. It is not about looks. It is about energy. When you enter a room, do you seem grounded or do you shrink and search for approval? Women notice this quickly. A man who moves calmly, doesn't rush, and doesn't constantly look for validation sends a strong message without saying much. He communicates confidence through presence. That kind of grounded energy is rare, and rarity creates attraction faster than words. Imagine you're at a social event. Instead of nervously scanning the room, you relax. Your shoulders stay open, your breathing slows, you observe without anxiety. That simple shift changes how people feel around you. She notices something different, not because you tried harder, but because you became more centered. 2. Emotional challenge. Most men over-agree. They say yes to everything. They avoid tension because they think tension always ruins connection. But not all tension is conflict. Light, playful tension can create spark. When you gently disagree or tease with warmth, you create polarity. And polarity often creates attraction. For example, she says she loves waking up early. Instead of immediately agreeing, you smile and say, "Really? You look like a snooze button expert." That's playful, not insulting. It shows confidence. It shows personality. It shows you are engaging, not performing. Attraction needs contrast. If you agree with everything, the interaction can feel flat. 3. Selective attention. This is where many men lose control. They give too much attention too fast. Instant replies every time, always available, canceling plans, making her the center of life too early. That often reads as low value, not because attention is bad, but because overgiving can signal neediness. A man with a meaningful life is not constantly available. You should be interested in her, yes, but you should also be invested in your own life, your goals, your work, your hobbies, your friendships, your growth. When your life is full, your time feels valuable, you stop orbiting her world, and that creates curiosity. This is not about games, it is about balance. 4. Intentional listening. Not just hearing words, remembering meaning. When you remember small details she shared and bring them up later, you stand out instantly. Why? Because emotional connection grows when someone feels seen. If she casually mentions she loves orchids, and days later you send a photo of an orchid and say, "Saw this and thought of you," that lands differently than a generic compliment. That shows presence, that shows care, and care combined with strength is deeply attractive. This builds emotional connection much faster than trying to impress her. 5. Calibrated vulnerability. A lot of men think they need to look perfect, unshakable, and emotionally untouchable. But women usually do not connect with perfection. They connect with honesty. When you share something real, a challenge you faced, a lesson you learned, a fear you overcame, without sounding helpless or seeking pity, you become more human and more trustworthy. That's the key. Vulnerability with stability. Not emotional dumping, not victim mentality, not trying to get sympathy, just honest confidence. That kind of openness builds trust, and trust opens the door to desire. Real strength is not hiding your flaws. It is being comfortable enough to own them. 6. Gradual physical touch. Respectful touch matters. Science shows that safe, light touch can increase comfort and emotional bonding. A brief touch on the arm while laughing, a gentle shoulder touch while walking, a natural moment of closeness. when appropriate and clearly welcome, can help create positive association. Her brain begins connecting your presence with warmth and comfort. But this only works when it is respectful, gradual, and mutual. Never force it. Never rush it. Always pay attention to her response. If she leans in, stays relaxed, or reciprocates, that's a good sign. If she pulls back, stiffens, or seems uncomfortable, respect that immediately. Confidence is not pushing. Confidence is reading the moment correctly. 7. Controlled unpredictability. This is the most powerful one when used well. The brain loves dopamine, and dopamine is often triggered by rewarding uncertainty. That means when you are slightly unpredictable in a healthy way, you become more interesting. This does not mean being inconsistent, rude, or emotionally unstable. It means you are not completely obvious. Sometimes you lead the conversation. Sometimes you let her come to you. Sometimes you're warm and playful. Sometimes you're calm and focused on your own world. You stay balanced. That balance creates mystery. And mystery keeps her thinking about you when you're not there. And that is where attraction often starts to grow. So now you have real tools, not cheap tricks. Use them with respect. Use them with maturity. Use them to create genuine connection, not manipulation. You do not need to become someone fake. You do not need perfection. You need awareness, you need timing, and you need self-control. Because the truth is, attraction usually grows when a woman feels 3 things at once. She feels safe, she feels curious, and she feels that you are a man with your own center. That combination is powerful. If you want better results with women, stop trying to convince them with effort alone. Build presence, build emotional intelligence, build a life that makes your attention valuable. Then your words start landing differently, your silence feels stronger, and your energy does what your explanations never could. If this helped you, take one of these 7 triggers and practice it this week. Not all 7, just one. Master presence, or playful challenge, or listening, or balance. And watch how much your interactions change when you stop forcing attraction and start allowing it to grow naturally. That is when everything starts to shift.